Alright, so the new Pixel 9a does come with some much welcome features over older Pixel devices such as the newer Tensor G4 chip, a larger battery, and a bright display. And while it's an ideal upgrade for people who are looking to switch over from much older Pixel models, I can't help but feel that the $500 price tag is a bit on the more expensive side of things, which might be a deal breaker for people who are looking to get a Pixel phone for the lowest possible price that they can get. Now this is where the Pixel 8a comes in. Now it's a year older than the 9a, but I'd like to think that it still comes with some worthwhile features, and given that it's now a lot cheaper than when it first launched, it might be the more practical phone to go with. Hey, what is going on YouTube? Mike here from Team VRY, and today we're taking a look at the Google Pixel 8a in 2025. Now we've covered this phone a lot here on this channel, and if you want to watch our older videos, I will drop some links in the description below. With that said, let's get started. Now, the biggest strength of the Pixel 8a is of course its impressive camera performance. Now, it is a simple setup. You just get a dual camera system which consists of a 64 megapixel main camera accompanied by a 13 megapixel ultra-wide sensor, and on the front you do get a 13 megapixel selfie camera. Now, while the Pixel 9a does feature a newer sensor which cuts down the resolution to 48 megapixels, its camera's larger physical size does give it an advantage over the Pixel 8a's camera when it comes to factors like overall clarity and detail and sharpness. With that said though, that's not to say that the Pixel 8a's camera is terrible. I mean, look at some of these photos that I was able to take while using the 8a for several months. I'd like to think that the phone, despite its more simple camera hardware, is still very capable when it comes to point-and-shoot photography. And if you're looking to get an affordable Pixel device, then of course this comes with the understanding that you're going to have to sacrifice a bit on some hardware aspects. But again, the computational photography that Google puts into its smartphones does make up for the somewhat weaker hardware. And you do get support for 4K video recording, which again is a nice feature to have, especially given the Pixel 8a more affordable price these days. Now, speaking of price, the Pixel 8a has seen some price drops. I'm now seeing it go for as low as $350 or maybe even lower if you know where to look on places like eBay and such. But yeah, most retailers will have it well below the $400 price point. So if you're looking for the most affordable Pixel phone that doesn't compromise on features, then I do think that the Pixel 8a is a nice balance. Now, of course, you can also get the Pixel 7a. That one will be much cheaper as well, but it does come with some compromises when compared to the Pixel 8a, such as the older Tensor G2 chipset, the lower 90Hz refresh rate, as well as the overall lower peak brightness on the display, the slightly lower battery capacity, and you do miss out on some features which are exclusive to the Pixel 8 series that are not going to come on the 7a. Now, speaking of software, Google did launch the 8a with up to 7 years of software updates. So if you decide to get one today, that leaves more than half a decade's worth of support if you're planning on keeping the phone for a long time. And it's going to get feature drops. It might not get all the features that the Pixel 9 series has, but again, we keep going back to this sub $400 price point, which this entire video revolves around. But of course, all the essential Pixel features are here. So you're gonna get call screening, the enhanced Google voice to text transcription, and stuff like the Google Pixel voice recorder, to name a few. Now, as for performance, the Pixel 8a does come with the older Tensor G3 chip, and despite the older hardware inside, I'd like to think that it's still generally smooth for everyday use, and most users will have little to no problems with the 8a, especially for day-to-day tasks like going through different apps, multitasking, handling some emails, browsing the web, watching videos, using social media, and so on. Sure, you can say that the Tensor G4 inside the Pixel 9a does offer some minute improvements in terms of performance, although overall there's not much of a big difference, especially if you look at synthetic benchmark scores. So yeah, price, camera performance, day-to-day usage, and software support will be highlights of the Pixel 8a, and for a price much less than the Pixel 9a, these are major factors to take into consideration. With that said though, the 8a is of course not perfect. For one, it comes with a lower battery capacity than the Pixel 9a, so you're looking at a 4,492 mAh battery inside the Pixel 8a versus the considerably larger 5,100 mAh battery inside the Pixel 9a. The Pixel 8a also comes with 18-watt charging speeds, which is much slower than the 23 watts that we're getting on the Pixel 9a, although wireless charging speeds do remain the same between both devices at 7.5 watts. It does come with a slightly smaller display as well, so you're getting a 6.1-inch display on the Pixel 8a versus the 6.3-inch display on the newer model. And while the 8a does come with IP67 dust and water resistance, you get a bit more with the Pixel 9a, which comes with an IP68 rating, although again, when considering usage in everyday scenarios, this might not really matter that much. Now with all that being said, the Pixel 8a still presents as an ideal mid-range Pixel phone, as it does come with a lot of upgrades over past models, while being considerably cheaper versus the newer Pixel 9a. Of course, if you simply must have the newer model, then by all means go for the 9a, but you'll definitely save a lot more if you choose to go with last year's Pixel mid-ranger. Alright guys, so that pretty much does it for this quick video. Let me know your thoughts about these two phones in the comments below. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.